Welcome back to Calculated Education. Today we're taking a look at an SAT math practice problem. Here we're going to take a look at number 13. Let's do this together. The Matthews family is driving to the beach, which is 480 miles away. The function that represents the distance in miles it takes them to get to the beach is f of t is equal to 480 minus 60t, where t represents the time in hours in this equation. T is the independent variable and f of t is the dependent variable. At which point does the graph of the function that we've stated above cross the x-axis? All right, we're going to do two things here. One, we want to convert our equation to look like y equals mx plus b. This will help us here, and we're going to substitute our variables in. So we know t is the independent variable. X is always the independent, so whatever we think of x as, we want to think of t. Whatever we think of y as, we want to think of f of t. All right, so if that's the case, we can substitute at least those two values. So y we're saying is f of t, so it would be y is equal to 480 minus 60. And then what did we say t was equal to? X. All right, so our slope is negative 60, right? Is going to be m here, and then 480 is going to be b, which means we're going to start at 480. And it asks us, okay, when is it going to be equal? When is x going to be equal to 0? When t is equal to 0, at what time will we have hit? How many hours does it take for us to get to 0? So for it to cross the x-axis, we need y to equal 0, right? So y is going to be 0, which means our equation is going to be some value, comma, 0. So we know that's to be true. So we can cancel out a few here. So we're left with 6 and 8. So what we're going to do is actually we're going to substitute y for 0, 480 minus 60x. All right, so what we can do is we can add 60 to both sides, so it's going to be 60x is equal to 480. We're going to divide by 60 on both sides. And then we know that 480 divided by 60 is going to be 8. So we know x is equal to 8. So when y is equal to 0, that's when we know it's going to cross the x-axis. So we want to plug in y into our equation, or in this case, f of t. And whatever we get for x, in this case it was 8, that would have been over here or something like that. This is when it would have crossed the x-axis. So now we just write it as a xy coordinate, right? And so that's going to be 8, 0, which is D. And that's it for today's practice question. If you want to see your questions answered or need any additional help, email calculatededucation@gmail.com. You can also sign up for tutoring sessions at the link below. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next one.